able to just be you again. Well, that's where local organisations like The Block come in. Based on Liverpool's Walton Road, the organisation helps veterans with challenges they might face. Well, Colin Eastaway, an ex-paratrooper of Afghanistan and Iraq, is the man who's founded the project, and I'm really, really chuffed and pleased that he joins me this morning. Morning, Colin. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So just paint the picture for us then, Colin. Tell us a little bit, first of all, about your military background.
Okay, so I joined Parachute Regiment here in Liverpool, Careers Office in 2001, and I went on to serve for 10 years, joining later. It was what we called it the Special Forces Support Group that was formed in 2005 during a very busy period of Afghanistan.
You know, we were chatting just before, just drawing that track there, and we were talking about it's all about adapting, and it's about adapting from your military life into your personal life as well. What are the things that are so difficult for you to make that adaptation?
I think the change in, obviously, tempo, your sense of belonging, having the community, and everyone says the same. They always miss the blokes, they always miss the comrades, they always miss the banter, getting amongst it. And when you're in that type of group, that's what makes going to Afghanistan and, do the type of jobs or whatever country or whatever the operation might be, it makes those jobs achievable because of the men you've got around you, men and women.
Yeah. And what about for you personally then, from a personal point of view, can you describe to us what it was like for you? How did you transition from leaving the forces to going back into your normal life? Was it easy for you?
No, it wasn't easy for me. I have came across some soldiers that did find it easy and made a natural transition, but I've come across many that could take up to 10 years, For myself, I think it probably took around about that time. I stepped straight into the private security work, so it was a bit of a similarities, natural transition into that type of work. But when I was coming home, that's when I was having the struggles.
Right.
That's when I was turning to alcohol and, more like abusing myself and trying to keep that adrenaline going or high tempo of what I had maybe from...
Or hiding your emotions, running away from your true emotions.
Yeah, I've probably just done it again there. I probably was trying to drown my sorrows and trying to, hide my emotions and sorrow for what I'd lost, the friends that we'd lost and stuff.
Yeah. Do you think that's part of the problem, for men in general, and obviously we're talking about veterans now with PTSD, is they're not very good at asking for help. They feel it's a weakness if they ask for help.
It is true, unfortunately, men are bad at asking for help. Same within soldiers. We have come a long way in the last few years, People aren't talking about it more, and it is easy, more accessible to get hold of. So, yeah, it has, but we're turning the corner. We're moving forward.
Yeah, and I think we've been very good, haven't we, since the pandemic. But the pandemic has helped a lot with people coming up and being open and really addressing what their true emotions are and being comfortable to speak up about it. Would you agree?
Yeah, certainly, and there's lots of different ways you can get help, or you can ask for help, or you can also do self-help and get in touch with your own emotions, and you try alternative therapies, for example, like holistic therapies. It's not all going to the doctor, knocking on the door, doctor in the white cloak and saying to him, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
You can talk to other people, you can talk to charities, you can talk to anyone online perhaps that is an advocate for mental health, and they will definitely give you that ear to talk into.
Yeah, because I've spoken to quite a few men actually, and one of the things that they said to me was it was easier to talk to a stranger than it was to talk to somebody close. Have you come across that?
That's very true. Yeah, I have found that before, and I've set things up like that before with therapists when I've been in Spain, and I've been speaking to paratroopers over in the UK who have been really struggling, and because I knew so many good people, holistic therapists, maybe not like healers type people, holistic, and they've been willing and said, Colin, if you ever got anyone that's struggling, put them in touch with me. And exactly what you've just said, I'm sort of selling that to them, a guy who's struggling, and saying, well, you don't know, you can say whatever you want.
That's right.
And they've sort of went through it, and it's really worked.
Yeah, it's the anonymity, isn't it? And it's that there's nothing coming back to them. They can just be free and just say what they want. You mentioned the word help, massive word there. So tell us about the block then, and how did you set it up? What made you want to set it up?
So myself and Peter, obviously, we actually met in the Armed Forces Careers Office in 2000, and I went on to serve 10 years together. So we're local. Both of us have had our struggles before, and both of us have reached out and tried to access support in Liverpool, and we'd both identified, along with other friends, that there was gaps in the system here in Liverpool. So we decided to put some actions behind, our thoughts, if you like. And when COVID happened, Peter had a commercial shop and 8-bed sit flats on Walton Road, and we sat down together and we were looking at some recent case studies in the area and thought, well, if there was a place to go, they could have just knocked on the door and come in, and albeit it might have just been that chat, but that's all they might have needed at that time. So we decided to open it up, and we changed the 8 flats into suitable for single living, ex-armed forces personnel. Got all our health and safety checks in order, organised a drop-in centre, and created a walk-in armed forces drop-in where people could go in and get access to any service that they need, whether it be for drugs and alcohol, benefits advice for the DWP by connecting with the armed forces champions in those departments, and then also for emergency housing and onward housing as well. And obviously, most important, mental health. And around about that time, Op Courage had just started, which is the Armed Forces Veteran Service within the NHS. They had some teething problems 2 years ago. They've been addressing them over the years, and it is a system now that I've noticed recently is working, and it's getting results, even here in Liverpool. So what we could do, because we were set up as a professional organisation, we could then make the referrals directly into the NHS services for clinical support for veterans. So you didn't have to go to the doctor like previously. You can also self-refer into that.
And it removed that stigma, didn't it, of going to the doctors then as well?
Exactly. You didn't have to go to the doctor no more. You didn't have to make an appointment. You can just jump online, NHS Veteran Service Op Courage, make a self-referral. You can pick up the phone, or you could drop into the block and ask somebody there, and they'll give you the advice, and they can make the referral for you and guide you through the paperwork if you need. And that was our biggest asset at that moment in time, having the door open, people to come in, sit down, to somebody like myself, and just tell it how it is. I tell everybody, look, I'm not NHS specialist or mental health specialist. I'm just another veteran, but I know that you can get the support if you use this system, and it is there, and we'll stay with you and guide you through it.
Well, Julius Caesar said, didn't he, experience is the teacher of all things. So if you've experienced it, you're qualified. You mentioned there about an NHS specialist, but you're a specialist in that area because you qualified, because you've experienced it and you've done it.
That's exactly right. We're specialists at being veterans as well, and talking to the blokes. We can do that, and that's what they need mainly.
And Col, what's the response been like with the people that have gone to the block and the people that you've met?
So what we've been doing is basically trying to bridge a gap that we identified in the system, and it can be that short-term relationship breakup, or they've just got out of the army, they've been out maybe inside the first year, finding things difficult, or just a change in circumstances. Maybe they've been out in a number of years, and it's just having that place to go where we can address it, where we can sit them down, do a basic needs assessment, and then signpost them onto the right place. And again, it's that open door policy where they can come in, talk to somebody like-minded, go, well, actually, mate, there is support there, and it's okay. We've all tried it, we've all used it. Get amongst it. It's for you. That's what it's there for. Trying to encourage them to take the support that's there. Our biggest asset is having the 8 bed sit flats that we keep, a couple of them for crisis prevention. So we try and keep them empty, and then we use them on a short-term basis. And if you look at the stats in the prison service at the moment, Liverpool and Alcar have 2 inside the top 10 armed forces veterans numbers in those prisons in the northwest. If you look at it countrywide, which I just looked at last night, counted through 101 prison services from 2022, Liverpool and Alcar were also inside the top 10 for the whole of the country for armed forces veterans. So obviously, in Liverpool area, northwest, we're doing something, or we could do better. We've got the most armed forces veterans in the prison service. And that's where we come in again with the crisis prevention. And somebody picks up that phone, I'm having a bad day, it's gone wrong, just broke up with a missus, blah, 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 Right, come down the block, mate. Sit down, get your head down, tomorrow's another day. you know.
Yeah. And
crisis prevention.
You can keep an eye on them then as well overnight, and just, you know, it might not be straight away that they want to talk to you. It might be 4, 5, 6, 7 hours later, but it gives them the confidence that there's somebody there to listen.
Yeah, exactly. So it's provided a safe haven, and a safe place for them to chill out, or maybe, you know, we can get a further needs assessment on them, because we do work with other charities in the area, like Tom Harrison House, which is the drugs and alcohol rehab centre, 12-week residential. So if there's any signs of a further needs assessment, we'll call them in straight away. Glenn's a great man. He comes in, he'll meet in our office with the individual, and it's about signposting them to the right place. And again, crisis prevention. That's been our biggest forte, if you like. It's very unique. We do work with Project Nova, which is the Armed Forces charity that is connected to the police stations. So if somebody gets arrested, if you've got a bobby who's on the ball, they understand it. They normally give out the leaflet for this Armed Forces Project Nova. We then are their point of contact in Liverpool. I was just on the phone to them again yesterday, supporting one of the veterans who've just been arrested. And for us, it's about, they haven't got the foot in Liverpool. We have, so they got on the phone to us. I said, tell them to come into the office. Let's have a chat and have a brew. You know, and that just breaks down so many barriers and changes so many things. Yeah, it's great having that connection, that awareness that they can pass them on to you. Then you can do what you do best. Question I've got to ask you, Carl, is, you know, where do you get your money from? How do you fund it? Where does it come from? Well, when me and Pete identified what was needed, Pete put his own money into it. So Pete's actually an injured veteran from Afghanistan. He took an IED, has got a brain injury, and he put his compensation money originally into the building. That was how we established it. Later on, I then put some of my funds into it as well to keep it going when it hit some hard times. So we've basically funded it ourselves at this moment in time. Okay. Running costs, we've got our running costs from GoFundMe pages. We've got some corporate sponsors on board as well who have sponsored some of the crisis rooms and have sponsored one of the Mind Force retreats that we've done previously. The Mind Force retreat is a separate program that we do at the block, and it's to introduce holistic therapies to Armed Forces veterans, unique. And we actually get the veterans from the NHS Op Courage service. They signpost them back to us. Okay. So every one of those veterans had made the call for help, and then they'd been signposted back to us, and we took them on a 3-day residential retreat. On the retreat, we introduce the basics: breath work, mindfulness, working with horses, equine therapy, yoga, you know, Tai Chi, all the weird and wonderful things that are so effective. When you introduce them to veterans, they have outstanding results. So we're self-funded at the moment, we need funds. Let's see if we can get you some help, Cole. How can people get involved and how can people help you? We've got a Twitter page, the Block CIC. We've got a Facebook page, the Block Armed Forces, and there is a GoFundMe page at the top of those links. If any corporate sponsors out there are interested in coming on board with us, please give us a call as well. Yeah. What's the GoFundMe page? The GoFundMe page is the Block Armed Forces Crisis Support. The pages are on top of the Twitter pages, and my email is hq@theblockcicliverpool.org. Don't be shy. We need all the info, Cole. Don't be shy. You know, I'm sure there'll be lots and hundreds and thousands of people listening out there who will know somebody who could be struggling. You know, who might want somebody to talk to. So, you know, the Block seems to be a fantastic place to go. It's absolutely brilliant. It really is. Colin, thanks for coming in today. Thank you very much for having me. Yeah, real pleasure.